Hi, Tony Caridi here at the Avid booth with veteran product manager Bobby Lombardi. Bobby, thanks so much for joining us.
Anytime, Tony.
So, now there's a ton of great announcements at the show, as you've seen if you've been following us here. But let's not forget, just a few short months ago, we had huge announcements about some new I/O, a new line of Pro Tools HD series interfaces, and Pro Tools HD Native. So I'm here with Bobby Lombardi, and Bobby, tell us a little bit. You were very much involved with the design of the I/O and also the design of Native. Tell us a little bit about what went into, what drove that product, and what are the what's special about Pro Tools HD Native?
I think we recognized that we had a number of customers working with the USB FireWire peripherals that we had out there in the M-Box line and the 002, 003 line. And then there was a big space between that and, say, the higher-end HDXL systems. And there's just an opportunity there where, a number of these USB FireWire customers really wanted to come up and start using the HD line of peripherals, whether it be the Blue Series, 192 type IOs, but now all these lovely new HD IOs. So this was a way to say, how do we bring these people up into these wonderful interfaces that we've launched, as well as embrace the power of the host. So that's really the core piece of HD Native. It really is the Pro Tools HD experience. It's that full HD feature set now running on the power of the host, so on the host computer, on a single PCIe card with access up to 64 I/O of those HD I/O or legacy Blue peripherals.
So the experience for, let's say, somebody who is traditionally a Pro Tools LE customer, maybe using a 003 or an M-Box, what are they going to experience? What are the benefits they're going to experience going from that system up to a PCI-based Pro Tools HD Native solution?
In a nutshell, it's stability, reliability at low sample buffer playback. So very low latency workflows with stability and lots of host processing. That's really what you get out of a PCIe card connected to the host and connected to the I/O. So maybe a way to describe it is if you were using a USB product, a FireWire product, you need to work with much larger buffers. It's just the nature of those drivers. So what you often have is a buffer that you have in the playback engine. But there's also a buffer, what we often call a safety buffer, that works on the USB or the FireWire driver layer. So all that combined just naturally creates a higher latency than what you would get on a dedicated PCIe audio DAW. So what you have now is the ability to use the HD software feature set, a PCIe card bringing down all that latency, so very low latency workflows, and then using the HD IOs.
So what does that latency translate into? Somebody that's used to working on a, say, USB device, what's the delta we're talking?
Yeah, so it varies with buffer size, of course. The HD native line or even the HDXL line, we're often used to sub 3 millisecond workflows, and that's at 4448 as well as 96. So the latency goes down at higher sample rates. So you can expect those sub 3 millisecond workflows even at the 4448 level, which is really impressive. Compared to the USB FireWire products, you're often working above 10 milliseconds because you need to crank up the playback buffers large enough to handle stability and running a number of native plugins or host-based plugins. So what's nice here is that you get a rock-solid system that's able to maintain low, small buffer settings of 32 samples, 64 samples, while running a significant number of host plugins.
Well, that's a big difference. But the difference between 3 milliseconds and 10 milliseconds plus is enormous. And I know that if you're trying to talk or sing a vocal or something, that your ears are very, very sensitive to that kind of latency. So that's a huge win for those customers. So that's very exciting. And as another big benefit here is that they get to experience the HD series I/O and kind of really get much, much better sound quality. What are we hearing about the HD series I/O? What are customer reactions been so far on that?
The customer reactions have been great. The number of reviews have been coming out, but more importantly, I would say even better news than the reviews are there are a lot of the blind shootouts that are occurring now. So I think there's been as many as a half dozen that I've seen now, where it just pins up that new HD I/O against our legacy Blue 192 series peripheral, but also against a number of the other leading I/Os that are out there, and we're clearly emerging as a phenomenal sounding I/O, a contender in that space of a premium quality converter. So this is exciting for all of us at Avid. I mean, we've been working so hard on this piece. One of the driving goals of this product was quality, sound quality, performance. So in a full redesign in a product like that, that had to be key. So performance was key, I/O sound was key. So this is a box that was redesigned, a new power supply, components are all laid out completely different, new A to D, D to A cards, a new digital card, everything's new on this box. So it's all about quality, and I think we've done well.
Awesome. Well, I think you did well too. I think I want to congratulate you on a great product, and thank you again for your time. So again, thank you, and thanks for joining us here, and we'll see you online.